It is another day and another dose of Did You Know? And today with me, I have Mr. Tyler, all the way from Kentucky. I feel like we are here together. We've been getting to know each other. He went to the bathroom. No, I'm just making that up. Starting rumors already. But how are you today?
I'm great. It's a beautiful day outside, so I'm happy.
It is. We were talking about how I'm having these lighting issues and it just makes me sad to be in the dark. And you feel the same way. So we are
Yes.
overly connected.
Yes.
Overly connected. And I want to give a big shout out to my friend Andrew. He's in Nashville. Well, he's outside of Nashville. So when you go there, Tyler, to perform, we'll have to tell Andrew so he can pop over. He's an awesome guy. You'll be addicted to his friendship just like me.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. So in a little snapshot, tell the world, who is Tyler?
Well, my name is Tyler Halsey. I hail from a place called Rogers, Kentucky. It's tiny. You got one stoplight, about 300 kids in your high school.
Oh, that's
Very,
cool.
very, very small place. Everybody knows everybody. That's a good thing and a bad thing, as you know. But
I do know that.
but that's where I come from, and it's very small. But I moved to. All right, let's kind of start back a little bit. So I've always been a musician. I mean, it's just been in my blood. But I was an athlete all through high school. I was a good basketball player and blah blah blah. And
Man of all trades.
yes, and then I just got into music. It just changed my life from the time I was in eighth grade, and I just walked around with my headphones on all the time. Look at me, still got them on. So
They haven't left. Maybe they've evolved, but they haven't left. They were used to be just little, right? Like the little round
yes,
things.
they just keep growing
Yeah.
like frying pans on my head.
So I gotta ask, how do you end up in such a small town? Like, has your family always been in a small town? I always wondered that, like those little things. I went through South Dakota once with my husband it was actually our anniversary, and we'd go through these towns and be like 11 people.
Yes, population 11.
Yep. So yours is a little bigger, but were you always there? Did you always have, like, your family always?
I was there, and I guess up until I was, let's see, 22 or 23. And then, I mean, yes, everybody's always stays in town. Once you go to college, you always come back to that town, and then you go to work somewhere for a family member or something like that. Well, that wasn't me. I said, no, I don't want that. I love my hometown. I always will. But I just felt like I was just had so many things I wanted to do that I couldn't accomplish there and didn't
Right.
have the opportunities to do. So I just packed up and moved to Colorado.
Whoa.
My cousin was in the military, so he's like, "Yeah, come on out here, and you can live with me." And his name's Anthony Smith.
How is that? If he's because so I only know from the guys I talk with and my son what it's like being in the military. Were you accepted? I got to go onto this route, or did you get an eye opening of because they are crazy. Like my son, like the stuff he did, that's just out of. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I raised you better.
I'll say this: I was never in the military personally, but I was when I went there to be around all those people made me become such a patriotic person. I don't know how to describe that because you once you hang around, it's who you run with, I guess, and that's
Yeah.
who I was running with at the time, and I just became an extreme patriot, and I love my country, and the stuff those guys got to go through is pretty amazing.
Cool. Don't it changes you, right?
It really does. Just to
It
see
did.
it, not even to be in there, just to see it and be around it so much. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so side note, you were in Colorado, you're doing your thing.
Yes, I started a little band out there with a guy named Patrick Matson, who just had a number one song on the Christian rock radio, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
His band,
Shout out. Awesome.
Random Hero, is the name of that group. So check those guys out.
Random hero. I
But
gotta write that down because I'm like a fly. It'll be
yeah,
gone.
and those guys, they're killing it right now. But we started a band long before any of us was anything. I guess you could say
Yeah.
that. And the name of that band was called Deadwood Creek. Was ironically enough was named after Deadwood, South Dakota, even though we were based there because of the Sturgis thing. We were kind of like a hard rock biker kind of band, I guess you would say.
Maybe were you there? I don't remember when I went on my honeymoon, but maybe I saw you. Maybe I didn't.
Perhaps I've been to every state but Alaska and Hawaii, traveling and playing music all over the place. My favorite state is probably Maine. randomly. I love Maine.
Really? That's like a spit from me.
Yeah, I love Maine.
Just like, what did you love about it?
The seafood mainly and the clam
Okay.
chowder.
I'm with you.
I
I
don't
get
know.
that.
I don't know. It's just that whole pier by the water at the bar playing the show. I don't know how to describe it. It just felt comfortable to me. So,
Yes. No, I get that. I get that. So how did you end up back in Kentucky?
well, about 2011, I met my fiance Tiffany. Her name's Tiffany Ploop. We're not married yet, but we've been together for ages. So just put it that way. But
Okay.
anyways, we met, and I was doing the whole band thing, and then I started getting back to my roots in the country music because when I was younger, that was my whole thing was a lot of bluegrass and country music, and then I kind of veered off in the whole rebellious rock and roll thing and blah blah blah, and then I came back, and I guess you could say she kind of tamed me down a little bit, and brought
That's
me
how
back to
us
life.
girls do it.
And it takes a strong woman to be with a crazy man, I guess. And
Yeah.
but anyways, we I met her and fell in love with her. I never would get her number or nothing. I had to get my buddy to do that. I was like, man, she's out of my league, dude. There's no way. But here we are. We've been together for 8 years now, so pretty happy
Look
about
at
that.
that. Look.
Yeah,
Okay. Now
two
I.
babies.
Oh my God. Okay. So I got to go back to this because again, this is just me. Why did you think she was out of your league? I have to ask.
There was a time that I thought every girl was in my league. Let's be honest. And a lot of guys do have that chip on their shoulder. And then something just changed in me at some point to where I stopped caring for myself, I guess. And I'm not trying to be morbid or negative or anything,
No.
but I just I just stopped caring and didn't think that people liked me for me and trying to be other things and which went along nicely with the whole music and the front man for the band and blah blah blah. So you know what I mean? So you kind of
Yeah.
wearing
You
the
really got
specter
into the
and
role.
yes, yes, and it became a thing and she just snapped me right out of it. So
Mm. Does do you know what made her say yes to you? Did you ever ask her that?
well, okay. So she was a waitress at this place called the Holy Cow in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I would go, and it was when I first started playing out on my own when I first moved there. I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I got to take it serious as far as the entrepreneurial aspect of it goes. And I was like, so I'd go out and I begged this bar owner named Chuck. He owned the place, and he was like, I was like, man, I'll play for free on Mondays. I don't care. The worst day of the week because that was their industry night. So I get out there and I'm playing. It was probably a month and a half in, and I was dating another girl at the time. But we,
Oh, the
yeah,
plot thickens. I love it.
well, it wasn't like that. I was just dating this girl, and then me playing for free wasn't really a cool thing for that person that I was with at that time.
Ah,
And I get that. I totally get it. Nobody wants to be that person, and but my ambition, outgrew that situation. So
yeah.
I stuck with that, and every time I would go in there to make my events, I would sit at the corner during the day about 1 or 2 o'clock before I played that night. I would just go in there and have a beer, and she would be waitressing, and she would come over and sit beside me, and we just hung out. But I never thought in a million years that she would like me like that. So that's
Maybe
just
you think, was it because you were friends? Like you would just kind of hang in and I don't know, like sometimes
yes,
we don't
I
become
do.
friends with people. We're like, "Ooh, you're hot. Let's do it."
No, it was definitely wasn't like that. It was more of a. I would joke and cut up with her in a way that probably people wouldn't.
Yeah.
That because they probably had that attitude you're speaking of most, but I tried to avoid that because I really respected her.
There's
So
the
yes,
secret sauce right there. You respect it. Okay. All right. So I don't remember where we left off in the story when I like
you
had
veered off.
I had to get off. So you have 8 years, two babies, you're in Kentucky, and you are still doing
What
what
I
you
love.
love.
That is correct. And it's really developed into this country thing. I've really taken it to a different level when I got back. And I'm glad I did. Got hooked up with some really good people, Mr. George Moore, Brian Wayne Perry, and Michelle Baxter.
I do. I love
She
Michelle. She's watching. I see her on here.
she landed a killer position down there at MC1 Nashville just recently. So congratulations, Michelle. We love you and we're proud of
I
you.
know she told me. I'm like, you go, girl.
So yeah, more than likely I'll probably be working with that whole situation. I hope. I mean, we'll see how it all pans out, but
Yeah.
I think I will.
So when you look back from where you are now and you think, this eighth grader walking around, do you see any common denominators that, yeah, I could see that I would be here that I am now?
Yes, I think that I kind of knew what I had to do then in order to make the things that I have now happen. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Have happened, I guess. And it took a while. I guess, like I said, I was 23, so there was about a 5 year span in between the time I was 18 to the time I was 23 that I was trying to find myself, just like everybody does, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I just made the move, man. I was like, I got to do it if I'm going to take this serious. That's what I told everybody I wanted to do. It's what I told myself I wanted to do, and I believe what I want to do.
Yeah, that's it. You believed what you want to do. Well, I think it started with you leaving your small town because it's very easy to stay in there. It's safe. You know what to expect. You can even become a hero in that town where you could have taken I'm just making this up because I don't know your town, but just from other things where you could have been a rock star in your town.
Correct. And there actually is a kid there named Tyler Booth that I played guitar for a small time that just signed with Sony. Big time guy. He did that very thing. So, I mean, yeah, it can happen anywhere if you
Right.
believe enough that you can do it. But I just didn't feel like I could do it there. I could get the things done that I needed to get done. So,
Well, you probably couldn't because if you felt that you had to go on that adventure, you had to become go to Colorado with, was it your cousin?
yes, yes,
Okay.
Anthony.
With your cousin and kind of do all of these things, or you wouldn't be up with your girl and your babies and sitting right here. I believe it
Right.
just everything always happens for a reason. We just don't know. But it sounds like you had that fire in you
Yes.
forever. Even before you got into music as a kid, were you like that? Where you got something in your mind and you were like, I'm going to just go do it?
Yes. Yes. I don't know if it's always a good thing, but yes,
I was going to say, did it get you in trouble?
absolutely. Yeah, a little bit here and there.
I think so.
But it's okay. We live and we learn, I guess.
Yeah, well, it makes you stronger if you learn from it. Do you remember any fun story that you can say out loud and to the world?
I guess is the drinking story, but
That's okay. Yeah,
all right.
you learn from everything.
So I skipped a part about there was a band that I was in called Stitch Stitch Rivet Rivet. So Stitch Rivet was the name of this band before I
Okay.
moved to Colorado. So that whole finding myself, we actually got pretty decently big uh, before I left that band and moved to Colorado. And there was a night we were playing the homecoming. Then the night before, I was ready. I knew everybody was going to be there, and it was going to be the greatest time. And me and my buddy Chris, we were parked in the middle of this small town with that one stoplight, and I was at the gas station, and we had a few drinks in us, and I'm just laying on the car, sprawled out, and the cops show up. You're like, you can't be laying here like this, man. You got. It's like you can't be doing that. And then they ended up taking us to the courthouse, and then his mother actually came and signed us out. They didn't even take us to jail. We didn't really get in trouble, but we did have a citation. And the next day when that concert happened, I asked those cops. I was like, man, will you guys please just cut me a break? I was having way too much fun, and they threw the ticket out. So nothing
See
too
that?
crazy.
No, but that's the can be the bonus of living in a small town
Yes,
too.
yes, yes, exactly.
You can get away with that instead of it ruining your whole life.
Right, right. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of
Yeah.
it did.
So you like worked your butt off to be where you are today.
I feel like I shouldn't be here if it wasn't for the work that I put in. I don't know what I'm trying to say. If I
That's okay.
wouldn't have done what I'd done, like working wise, then I would not be here at all. I mean, that's just obvious.
Hmm.
And I feel like I controlled that. I was the only one that controlled my destiny. Nobody else is going to do anything for you, so you better do it yourself.
Hmm. Were there times when you were just like, you kind of questioned it? Because that's hard. It's a long
I still do. Absolutely.
journey.
Every day. I question it. Am I doing the right thing? Then the good always outweighs the bad when I tell myself, yes, absolutely, I am doing the right thing. So,
Mm. Do you sometimes, I always feel like, and I talk about this a lot, is when we start to question ourselves and there's a lot of adversity or something bad happens, that if you can just kind of plow through that, it's always better on the other side. It's like you're almost being tested.
yes, that is so, so true. I've looked back so many times and said, man, I'm glad I did that. A few times I said, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But whatever. But yeah, the good outweighs the bad, I think, because we
Yeah.
wouldn't be sitting here where we are today if it didn't.
Right, right. And since it sounds like you have a really good relationship with your fiance, is it
Yes.
Tiffany? I
Yes.
totally went
Yes.
blank. Okay. Oh, I didn't write it down, so I was questioning myself. I have to learn to, trust my brain sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but do you find Tiffany, with your personality, she is more of like motivating, or is there sometimes she even questions it and you have to kind of say, babe, I got this?
Yes. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. I mean, she's always been super supportive. I mean, at the end
No.
of the day, that's just the way it is. And I support her. She actually works for a mortgage company, or she's a lending officer now. She just got
Okay.
licensed. So good job, babe. And
Yeah.
and then I do this thing, and it works out because with the kiddos, she'll go,
Mhm.
and then I play music at night, so it works really well as far
It
as
works well and you're living your passion. But I always ask that because even when people are, you love each other and you support each other, there's realistically, there are times when it's like stressful.
it absolutely is. Everybody's like that. You just gotta
Yeah.
know. You gotta identify that you're being stressed out first, and
Right.
then once you know that you're being, I mean, it just comes out in words. Sometimes you don't mean to say things, and then you gotta apologize and all that stuff. But you gotta know that what's right and what's wrong. You gotta admit that you were wrong, basically.
Yeah. Have you always, do you
I
admit
do that a
easily
lot.
that you're wrong? It's hard to do that sometimes. Our egos like to take control and be like, no, because in some land out there or situation, this could have worked out.
Yes, that's exactly right. So I guess you got to know when you cut your losses and know that the love you have for one another is stronger than in an argument.
Hmm. So do you do your writing? I always asked, like, do you just sing or is what you sing your
Mostly,
work also? Or how does that work?
the worst of my songs are things that have happened to me. They just are. I don't try to be anything. Sometimes will absolutely try to put myself in a situation if I can imagine what, but it's hard to do that when you've never been in that situation though. So
Right.
So I try to just stick to what I know, and that's me. You know yourself better than anybody, right? So, and then hopefully, if we all share experiences at the end of the day, so somebody out there is going to relate, and you're not the only one to ever have done those things. So that's why people relate to music because you're not the only one that's done and went through something.
Right. Right. Yeah. That is so true. That's probably why you have a style, because it's something that is relatable to you.
Yes.
And when you try to live outside your box, I always tell people when you try to live outside your box, man, you are always going to be searching because nobody is looking for, a diamond that you touch and it breaks because it's fake.
Right.
No one says, I really, really, really want a fake diamond when I get bigger. No one says that.
Nobody ever says that.
Okay, I haven't said that. I'm like, no, I want a real thing.
Big old diamond.
But I think that's how when your work, you got to kind of, I'm visual, so that's how I see it. When you try to be something you're not, you're trying to be this fake diamond that nobody's gonna, it'll look pretty for about a hot second, and then
Right.
they'll figure out it's not.
Yeah. Don't be fake and just be authentic and be who you know that you are,
Yeah,
because people will see through it pretty quick
yeah.
if you're not.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, do your kids have, any of them have music talent already? Or are they just like uber babies?
Yeah, he plays drums.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Connor does. He's 5.
He's 5 and he plays drums. I am not coming to visit you.
So loud. Thanks, thanks, Steve Richmond, for giving him those drums, man.
Okay. It's like a love-hate relationship, I'm sure. I'm putting myself in there and be like, this is so cool, but I need earplugs.
Yes.
Yeah, your headphones come
There
in
you go.
handy.
Noise
Come in
canceling.
handy. So I'm curious though. So is your 5-year-old the oldest or the youngest?
Oldest, and then Sissy, she's 2.
Oh, so 5 and 2. That's like my two.
Almost 2. She's pushing up there, but yeah.
Close enough. So okay, so you are busy. You are a busy man doing what you love, and you've made it. You've put the time in, put the energy in to be where you are. What would you tell someone that's kind of looking at this being like, you know, what advice would you give? I always say, like, I learn through people's mistakes, not necessarily their successes or hard times, I guess, because I'm like, oh, okay, check that off. I don't need to do that.
It's really, really simple. Just don't give up. That's it. You got to stick to that. Now, you got to maintain plenty of balances in between. Obviously, you can't just, but make that your main focus. If you're focusing on too many things, you're not going to get what you originally focused on done. So that's what I know.
I like that. You got to stay focused on it. It's almost like you need a sticky note on your forehead
Yes.
because you'll get distracted.
My grandmother always says, you got too many irons in the fire. So you got to not do that.
Just don't do it. Listen to grandma. Don't do it.
Yep. Everywhere you go, there you are.
Easy peasy. So before I ask my final question, and I know I'm going to post it in this link if it's not already posted in there, but where can people get your music that aren't in Kentucky or Nashville? Because you play a lot in Nashville, so that aren't in Nashville.
So I have a little free site up right now that you can go stream my music. I got 6 songs up there that you can hear many times as you want. You can purchase them, and it's over at reverbnation.com/Tyler Halsey 2017. So that's when I created the page. I probably need to update that, but hey.
No, it's like it'll be vintage one day. That's we'll call it vintage. That sounds cool.
So anyways, just head on over there, or you can come to my music page. We just search Tyler Halsey Music, and it'll pull up all the events and stuff. Obviously, we're going through some stuff right now, and those events will be postponed and redone at a later time. So
yeah, so go to the page where you can just listen to it for free because you'll want to listen to it sooner than later until he can be out in the public again. Well, we all can be out in the public, not that you are just the one stuck inside. It's you.
Isolation.
No, so here's my final question because it's dear. I love it. People don't understand how powerful this question is for me. So this is all about me, just saying. But in this moment right now, how does Tyler see love? What does love mean to Tyler?
That's kind of a hard question.
I know.
How do I
But the first thing that comes to your mind, it can be like a smell of color. The first thing.
Safe. I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing to say, huh?
No, that is a beautiful thing, actually. Yeah. Oh, I like that. That is in my top 3. Actually, I'm writing that down because my daily dose is going to be about that because that just hit me hard.
Oh, I know. I don't know where it came from. It just popped up.
It is. That's what people try to overthink it, and it's not. It's that first thing that just comes to you. That's what it means right now. And it always changes and morphs, and it could mean something totally different tomorrow in 2 hours. That's what's so great about it, because love is constantly flowing and changing. See, you're going to think about it too. This is a life-changing moment here.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, so thank you so much for letting me dig into your personal life. Maybe tell secrets that weren't there. No, you get
For
that.
sure.
Get that shovel. Start digging. And I can't wait because I'm going to be out in Nashville in September. And I'm telling everybody that I know out there, because we're going to have a big party. I'm going to volunteer at a Reverend Worse. I actually want everybody to volunteer with me. And then we have a big party at the end.
That's awesome. I did Christmas for Kids this year.
Did you?
Yeah, I was there.
In Nashville?
Yeah, I had a bus. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. See,
Yeah.
we can go into this. And then I want to have a tour. I'm doing a tour in Texas. Then I'm going to do one in Tennessee. This is going to be amazing.
Well, I'll be down there then. I'll come see
Perfect.
you.
It's a date. It's a date. Bring the family. I can't wait. All right. Well, thank you. And to everybody out there, thank you for joining us. And as always, love hard, love pure, and love true. And we will see you next time.